I was this kid, this creative kid, it like had long hair and like music and like tennis and did these things. And then he kind of got squeezed into this path that was like not me, and I chased it. And then I had this moment, this defining moment where I really asked myself, like, when was I happy, right? Like, when was I truly happy? It was such a simple question, because I was miserable for the last 2 years. Miserable.
And why? Right.
And I had a vision of being at the Colony Beach and Tennis Resort, 1978, and I've got this picture on my wall. It's a picture of me and Nick Bollettieri and like 8 other kids. And this is where Nick had just started his academy. It was like ground zero for IMG Academy, and I was there. I happened to be there. My dad loved tennis, and he had a place at the Colony.
Colony was really famous, yeah.
And I looked back and I said, that's when I was happy. So I decided to start this business, Premier Live. And
because you decided you were just going to do something that made you happy and let the chips
there was no
follow.
business plan. The plan, the mission, it was more of a mission. It was like, get back to 1978. That was my mission statement. Like, get back to that moment. Get back to when I was a kid, right? When everything was like, and I think, like in terms of kids today and parents, like a kid knows what their passions are and who they are.
Yeah.
They don't know it, but they are who they are. You bottle that kid up before he hits puberty, that's who you are.
Yeah.
And then you get hijacked. Like society, peers, teachers, careers, money, power, fame, it all grabs and rips that, tugs it,
Yep.
And then you come back and you have this moment where you realize, or you have the courage to say, hey, like, who am I, right? And do you have the courage to be yourself, like your true self? Do you have the courage to be you, right? Like, and that was what I did. Is I just went out and just restarted, and then to tie this back a little bit more, I discovered that I was dyslexic probably about 3 to 4 years before that all this happened. I was reading a book.
Wait, so you went all the way through college and stuff and not really knowing?
I didn't know I was dyslexic until I was 40 years old. And it's amazing. I see people today, and I talk to them, and they don't even know they're dyslexic, and I know they're dyslexic, and they're my age. It's all around. But when I was 40, like another problem that I had as a creative, and again, like, what manifested itself through my dyslexia was this anger, right? What got replaced with like academic success or confidence was like these volcanic bursts of emotion and anger. And it started when I was young, like in 4th grade when I got held back.
Right.
I had an emotional outlet, and that became like periodic, and I'd have this temper because people would meet me and they'd be like, Ram, you're so laid back, but they didn't realize I had this volcanic side to my personality, and that was like bottled up dyslexia. Sure. And on top of it, like I found that I was always trying to get into another business because my creativity was pulling me like, oh, that's such a cool idea. So I was getting pulled. And I stumbled into this book about this guy, Richard Branson. And I was like, how does this guy have 400 businesses, I mean, this is, whatever he's doing, like I need to understand that, If he has 400 business and he's monetizing, then I've got to figure that out. So I picked up his book, Screw It, Let's Do It, and I was just reading through the chapters, and I got into the chapter where he went through school. And I was like, oh my God, like he went through the same thing that I went through, and he said he was dyslexic. It's crazy. And then he dropped out of school, and I almost dropped out of school. I almost dropped out of college too, but that's another story. And I was like, once I said, wait, I'm dyslexic. And once that penny dropped in my head, all the anger flew out because I realized I connected all these dots in my life and it explained my dyslexia. And
so it happened quickly, the clarity?
It happened instantly.
Wow.
It was like, as soon as I read it, it was like, boom. And within 5 minutes, I was like, I'm dyslexic. And then I started slowly unpacking this thing once I had this awareness.
Yeah.
And then, the irony is, like, so that's 4 years before 2012. And then I knew Richard played tennis, and I happened to be down in the British Virgin Islands. My parents took me down there as a family vacation on a moorings yacht, and we pulled up and went past Necker, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, Richard's got this thing going on over there, and I wonder what it's like. It's very exclusive. It's probably impossible to get on the island, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm traveling in the British Virgin Islands, and I have a tennis match with the pro at Little Dix Bay, and he says, oh, my back is injured, but I have this guy that you can hit with, and it turned out to be Richard's tennis pro. And we struck up a conversation, and I was just started this new company, Premier Live, and I was like literally a month out of my business. He said, yeah, we've been kind of playing around this idea and to get an event. And I'm like, well, I do events, and I had a business that had no revenues, and I had a foundation that we carried over from Lifetime Fitness and through RCS. We had to set up a foundation with USTA Player Development in order to get some funding to support underserved kids. And anyway, I took that over because I had a desire to do good. Somehow I knew this foundation was going to do something, right? But it had no programming and no revenues. And so anyway, I took that, and then, actually, to make it even more interesting, I mean, I had some assets left after. So it turns out the lawsuit with that partner, we lost it, but then we ended up prevailing on another lawsuit, and it kind of brought the score back, right? Because we couldn't admit certain evidence into the courts that was like saying like everything that this guy was doing to us, behind the scenes. And then when it finally got admitted, we got a reversed opinion. But by that point, like, so much damage was done.